Hey everybody, welcome to Behind the Mirror. I'm your host, Keith Posehn. Today with me is Lim Fong, our head of operations. And hey, Lim, we're going to talk today about stagnancy in affiliate programs is death.
Yeah, like we were just talking about recruitment, which feels like such a boring topic. But once you start peeling apart this onion and trying to get to the root cause of why recruitment is so hard or why certain programs really struggle to grow, there are many areas that we can kind of point to and kind of think about together on ways that we can grow the program despite all the things that are happening within a company. So
And it's surprising. It's surprising too. It's like, as companies get bigger and the effect of these programs gets even larger, a well-run program can be a huge impact on a major enterprise and be the difference between meeting and beating targets for the street, in a quarter. But we also find often we do these audits, like the channel has stagnated. It's gotten it's very reactive. It's not experimenting. It's not pushing. And it's not through any necessarily fault of the people there. They want to change it, but they're hemmed in. They're just really stuck in a methodology, in a paradigm that's very difficult to break free from.
Yeah, I think it's like lack of inertia or like resting on your laurels. Once you feel like your program is kind of humming along, you lose that fight or that drive to keep going after the next shiny thing out there.
Yeah.
And I think you have to always go after that shiny thing with a little bit of cautious optimism.
Yep.
Carving out a little bit of your budget and your time and go test it and see what happens. Because we should be failing, more often than we would love to admit. And but failing is fine. It's really learning about what you should be doing in the future. Because a lot of the brands that we work with, we have seasonality. We're always talking about, like, let's talk about holiday seasons around Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like, wouldn't you want to test throughout the year so that when you got to November, you knew exactly where you wanted to place a $500,000 bet or a $100,000 bet? Like, the answer is, like, resoundingly should be a yes, right?
Yep.
But so many companies just kind of lose out on that inertia. Or like the summer doldrums, like holidays or vacations, whatever it is. But we can't lose sight of that. And I want to talk with you, Keith, about how you can reframe or rethink about this problem and a couple small things that I think you can implement in any organization so that you can kind of capitalize on your learnings throughout the year. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's like key, and you use inertia a couple times there. I think that's a really important word. Like, I have a couple concepts I'll relate here today for everybody. There's two things. One of them is organizational inertia. It's real. Organizations, no matter how nimble we may want them to be, they have momentum and inertia. They'll go in a direction regardless of our best intentions as leaders. And so we may want something to happen, and it can take a huge amount of energy to change that direction. And it's one, too, that I think it's often, we've talked in previous episodes about how affiliate can be overlooked in a way as, it's a single channel. In reality, it's not. It's multiple channels, multiple methods, all wrapped up in one. And so that narrow viewpoint can create a self-limiting type of paradigm where organizations will view it as a singular thing. And thus, in the approach as a singular thing, it will become the singular thing. And like the stagnancy we're going to talk about later, when programs are just completely dominated by promo codes and cash back, which have their place, but end up being very low value to the organization itself. And we talked in previous episodes, like that's not how you should look at it. That they have value to you as a leader and as a business in some areas, but not in all. And so looking at your partner mix more holistically is like key. The other one I want to cover is what I call tyranny of the familiar. And it's a concept I've been working on for years where organizations, whether under pressure or just, under not under pressure, but often under pressure, people will discount the they'll discount the risk of doing what they know and overestimate the risk of doing what they don't know. And so they'll stay the course, assuming that that's the lower risk thing, but it's really just the familiarity. They're choosing comfort over growth. And that happens in so many places that you find these businesses have chosen comfort when in reality that was not only objectively the wrong choice, but the riskier choice too.
Yeah, and we run affiliate audits often for our clients, and when we look under the hood and we look within a program on the partnership types and the partnerships that are in the program, we see similar, 10 to 15 aspects across many affiliate marketing programs, and we want to change that. Like we want to change that thinking and shift how organizations allocate resources and budget and time to really important initiatives so that you're continually learning. And you can't lose that inertia or just become too risk averse that you miss a ship, right? Like there's a lot of different and newer affiliate genres out there today that can drive a lot of value. And far too often, many of these brands, they miss out on capitalizing on it.
Agreed. And I think it's an interesting thing too. Like we look at an organization and we go, like the people that are most valuable to a company are the people that are proactive. We look for the proactiveness in people and in team members and things. And reactive team members are, that's less valuable. And that's actually like often a drawback on some. If they're reactive, they're not proactive. Then that means that they, in being purely reactive to what's coming in, they're not able to seek out and find opportunity. And we find in affiliate programs, we have that problem, reactive versus proactive. We do a whole analysis in our audit, the reactive versus proactive analysis to say which partners are just reactive, who's coasting. And, we've seen that in some recent ones where like practically everybody's coasting. We have to go in and shake the tree because the organization has allowed it to coast. But it's also funny too when you shake the tree and all of a sudden a bunch of them wake up and go, oh, wait a minute. And they become proactive. And they're only reactive. They're frequently reactive only as a result of the organization's passiveness and their approach to marketing. Because, no one would be reactive. No one wants to be reactive to Google. Everybody looks at Google search and says, hey, how do I go get more here? At least I hope everybody does. If they're not, that's a problem too. But, we don't want to be reactive in these channels. We want to be proactive. Go find more opportunities. Go keep testing. And this is a channel that, affiliate in general, like it should be no different.
Should be no different. And what channel is better equipped than the affiliate channel to just test out different types of partnerships? If you're running on a platform that allows you to use, UTMs and affiliate tracking links, and you're using cookies. Like you could do so much within your partnership ecosystem that it makes like you can't. It doesn't make any sense to not test out new affiliate genres. So, we have a couple things that we try to implement that all the organizations that we've been at, that helps kind of change the mindset of the programs and the people that you're working with. But I think the first thing you need to think about or go back to is, what is your primary goal? And then you just build your strategy behind that. For most organizations, it's going to be growing revenue by X percent this year. And so when you and I, Keith, think about like, okay, how do we grow revenue? And how do we set ourselves and our clients and these companies up for success against this revenue goal? Like, then what are the three things that we need to do to make sure that we can capitalize on that?
Yeah, and I think it's like also like, organizations' goals shift too, and we found before where we actually have to help them understand like, no, you're looking at the wrong goal here. You're looking at like a channel is customer acquisition. Like, wait, no, this is good at customer acquisition, great, but you have a challenge around LTV. You have a challenge around uptake and like repeat customers. Well, wait a minute. Why would we approach it only purely from a customer acquisition standpoint? We should be looking at this in terms of serving broader business goals. Like we talked with one client and proposed doing a deal with another major cashback partner who can target audiences, target customer lists, and go, let's get churned customers in. Like that's a strategic goal, and the CAC that they're willing to spend on it is also much higher because that's such a huge change in customer behavior. Like, well, let's approach that. It's the same thing sometimes just trying to get a customer to 2, 3, 4 purchases, or to go from trial to paid subscription to maybe upgrading. Like there's a lot of ways to look for that as an opportunity. I think it's very easy. I think it's often overlooked, the strategic aspect of these channels. And even other channels are subject to the same thing. Like I was at one company in my career where the moment that somebody signed up or even clicked on an ad, all marketing to them stopped. The moment that they did like a sign up, then there was nothing else. It was all product marketing after that. And that was so limiting at the time because there were so many other ways to get them through there that were outside of the ecosystem of the company in terms of its ability to address them via email, that was a significant drawback. And the moment we changed that and it opened that up, suddenly things moved. And that was just all marketing. And so I think sometimes it can be a whole top-down mandate in a way that can really hold it back.
Yeah, top down certainly helps, but I think people on the ground, like you and I, as we're advising companies, there are things that we can do to change the narrative, or at least try to convince our leadership team that this is what we should be doing. And one thing that we love pitching is just taking X% of your monthly budget
Yeah.
and just allocating it to something new. New campaign, a new ad type, a new partner, a new vertical, whatever it is, something new. And X%, it could be 10%, could be higher, could be lower. It really depends on like the goals of your company. But having that muscle that you're flexing every month where you're testing and you do a readout, at the end of the month or whatever cadence that you're running a test, and then deciding whether or not to continue or to not is super valuable. Because again, once you get to your holiday season or your peak seasonality, then you know where you need to be placing your bets, your money, and your ad budget, your media placement fees, your commission increases, whatever it is. And testing could also be playing with your commissions. It doesn't have to be something entirely new, but like, hey, let's say we're gonna take 10 partners and we're gonna drop commissions by 10% because we feel like they're coasting. Let's see what's gonna happen to ROAS. Sometimes and nothing is going to happen. Maybe the ROAS is going to stay the same, and you can continue driving the revenue. And you learned that you've been overpaying these partners for longer than they should be.
Yep. And it brings up questions of elasticity, which, for our listeners, like, boy, affiliate as a channel is surprisingly variable in terms of elasticity, because it's the same concept like we've talked about. You've got a whole bunch of partners in there, and sometimes, frequently, you consume 100% of what you can get from a partner. Increasing their commissions does absolutely nothing. And so looking and finding that, and then even within a single partner, you may find that, like in a cashback partner, you've consumed all of the available cashback that you're going to get as an inventory, and you're overpaying. But leverage other tools. To your point, like experimenting, look at a partner and say, can you access the audience I want in another novel way? I may be reducing commissions across the baseline for you because you can't drive any more volume or the value is lower, but you can get me access to turned customers through your email list. Yes, please. Like that's really about like change your approach. Be a lot more deliberate about how you do it. And then the result is a channel that drives a lot more of your strategic goals, which I think is, again, like we see that overlooked frequently, but when it isn't overlooked, it's so powerful.
Yeah, like we have to develop and continue to use this muscle every month. So we've talked about allocating X% of your budget or resources to testing new things. What else can we do? Like, what else do we advise our clients to continually test out here? Even if things aren't necessarily like last click or whatever attribution system that you use, if it falls a little bit outside of it, it's still worth testing.
Yep.
Because what if you find that this new campaign works? Then you've got the conviction to work with your leadership team to say, hey, we need to change or we need to rethink attribution or our rule set here to capture this revenue demand or this growth that would otherwise be captured by our competitors.
Yeah. No, totally. And I think it's like we talk about a couple things here. I think one of them is like just establish your risk profile. Establish as a business and say, hey, look, what risks can we take? What risks are we willing to take? And what are our broader goals? And then what can we do that serves those? And how do we take a look at our go-to-market approach and say, what more can we do here? I think we really had that down at Uber when we were all there together. We really pushed that and said, hey, how can we get access to audiences in new and novel ways? We're the first in the company to really go after repeat trips. As a metric, not just customer acquisition, but repeat trips. And it took a long time to prove the incrementality, but in the end, it was super incremental. And so that willingness to push there, and that's an organizational thing too. It's for leaders, it's so critical to bake into your organization the willingness to push, to test, to fail, and to learn and keep going, because that's where the growth always comes from.
Yeah, and I'd say for our audience here who's listening and following along, if you're curious about what your program could be doing, please reach out to us. We're happy to do a 30-minute chat or brainstorm about what you're thinking about. And we have a product that's an audit where it's a pretty immersive 2-month process where we'll peek under the hood. We'll talk to your stakeholders. We'll talk to your peers and your partners and really identify what's working well and what's not working well, and we'll provide a recommendation for you. We love doing it because we learn about all these different industries and all these different companies who are trying to grow and to try out new things. So please reach out to us. We'd love to chat.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you, Lem. Appreciate it. This is a good subject for today. I think a lot of the takeaways for everybody too is we really have to always remember, keep pushing the envelope. We can't be too comfortable, because the comfort, when our desire to de-risk ourselves by not pushing too hard turns into a higher risk, because what we think, tyranny of the familiar, what we're familiar with, we believe to be lower risk than it actually is. And the risky thing we see actually often turns out to be lower risk. Turns out to be something that's maybe the best idea. And so having an objective viewpoint, sometimes you need the third party. And, to your point, we come in and we take a look at everything, turn over every rock, and figure out everything you need to know that will help you get your program into the right state for growth.
Cool. Thanks, Keith.
Awesome. Thank you as well. Have a lovely week, everybody.
Great. Bye, everyone.